Okay, here we are. Where do you want to start? And anybody can do it. There was no trick to it. All right, so now, where are we? We got all this stuff. I don't even remember where I want to start here. We'll look at the notes. We're going to start chapter 2. Chapter 2 PowerPoint. Oh wait, I almost forgot. We're up on the internet now. So here's Canvas. I wanted to point out, which we couldn't see on Tuesday, is that you go to syllabus. There's the syllabus. I updated it. We are supposed to skip that homework on that one that I thought we weren't supposed to skip. So I did put it back to where it says never handed in. Then you can see I went ahead and copied and pasted the syllabus all the way to the first quiz. So there's quiz 1. And then what will happen after the first quiz is I'll get rid of all this and I'll put from the first quiz down to the second quiz, the detail here. But like I said, you can just download your own copy right here. Let's go here. Hang on, not grades. Assignments. Now we can see this. There's homework, there's week 1 assignments. You would click there. There's your 3 assignments for the week right there. But don't forget, before you do your assignments, let me go back home, you want to look at these instructions. I'm jumping ahead a little, but let's look at these instructions.
How do you get there?
Right there. How do you get where?
The instruction.
The instructions are right on the home page. As soon as you go into the classroom, or if just click on home if it doesn't take you to the home page. I don't know, is it taking you to announcements when you first sign there, or does it take you to that home page? Home page? Okay. There's announcements, because I guess it gave me the choice to have you go to announcements or home page when you sign in, but I think I had it set up for home page. And then there's instructions right there. You just click on it right at the top. There's chapter 3 PowerPoint, chapter 2 PowerPoint, which we're going over today. There's the Excel spreadsheet where you'll learn how to use the mean, median, and mode today using Excel. There's number line pictures that I'm going to go over. And there's the homework assignment, and there is the link to Tuesday's lecture. Did you notice it got up, I don't know, what time Tuesday night? That wasn't that late. I got it up pretty early, surprisingly. So when you click there, it then says, do you want to go, it's going to take you out of Canvas to YouTube. Say, yes, I do, and then it takes you to the YouTube video where you can watch it. Any questions about Canvas, where to find things? Well, tonight, after our in-class, I will post the in-class assignment right there. And if you're ever absent and you miss an in-class, you would download the in-class assignment right there, write your answers out, and take a picture and get it in before midnight. If you weren't here to do the in-class assignment and you still had it in by midnight, no late reduction. Because you were on your own, you didn't even get the help of other students, so you can still get full credit for that in-class assignment even if you missed that class. All right, and this is where you would find it. And if you don't see it, let's say it's getting 7 o'clock at night and you still don't see it, bring it to my attention. I'll email it to you because maybe I forgot to post it. And that happens, I forget a lot of things. So expect it. Expect me to forget things. That's a good policy. All right, let's get started. Before I go to those instructions, I want to talk about some of this stuff, get rid of this. The 2 parts I want to highlight here are all of these actually, frequency table, relative frequency table, percent frequency table. So let's start. These are so easy. And then we'll talk about bar graph and pie chart. But these are easy. I want to start right here with this data. Where's my pen? How many pieces of data do you see there? It looks like this hotel, Miranda Inn, sent out questionnaires to guests. They had to respond. What was the question? Rate the quality of your accommodations. They had choices here. It looks like excellent, above average, average, below average, poor. Here's my question. I'm going to put the results right here. Let me start by asking you, how many surveys were filled out? 20. So this should add up to 20 right there. I got that figured out. How many said poor? 2. Okay. How many said below average? Not all at once here. 3. I hear 3. How many average? Correct anyone? I always wait for a second response, but I didn't wait on these. So correct if it needs to be corrected. How many average? 5. I hear a couple of 5s, so I'll take it. Above average?
9.
What? Seriously? I see above average first glance. I see 2 of them.
I got 9.
Oh, 9?
Yeah.
I thought you said none. What? Excellent. How many? 1. Does this add up to 20, 10, 15, 20? Yes, it does. There you go. You just made a frequency table. That's it. You just count the data. Those could have been numbers. How many 50s were there? How many 52s were there? How many 60s? Or they could be words. You just count them, how many frequency of each piece of data. The key is if the data makes sense to have it in a certain order on the frequency table, then you want to put it in a certain order. I could have made this from excellent to poor, but notice I have an order there because it makes sense. Poor is like the worst response we would want to get if we were managing this hotel ourselves, and excellent would be the best response we'd want to get. Matter of fact, as a manager, I hope you're disappointed with these results, because we would want a lot more of those. Even though that's nice, we would want a lot more of those, and we wouldn't want even one of these. I mean, yeah, there might be one. You can't make everybody happy, but not two, and not three of these. No way. We should be disappointed with these results as a manager. But we just made a frequency tables, just counting them. Now, to convert this to relative frequency, you have to divide how each number of responses from the total. So, for poor, you ready? 2 divided by 20, because there were 20 total, 2 divided by 20 equals. Someone get the calculator out. I'm gonna write the rest of them. 3 divided by, this one's easy. This is 10%. So 0.10, that one's too easy. 3, that would be 15%, 0.15. Some of these are too easy, you didn't even need a calculator. 5 divided by 20, is that 0.4? Help me out. No, it's not 0.4, it's 0.25? 0.25, 0.25, that's a 0 there. There we go. 9 divided by 20, is that 45? 0.45, and 1 divided by 20 is 0.05? Is that true? Let's see if these add up to 1.0. 10, 15, that's 25, 50, 95, 1.00. That works out perfect. You just made a relative frequency table. The key for it to be a relative frequency table is leaving it in decimal form. That's the key. You have something in your future, whether it's a quiz question, a final exam question, a homework question, in class, I know you have it in your future, where I'm asking you to develop a relative frequency table from a frequency table. You just figure out how many there are total, show your work that you add them up, show your work that you're taking each number of response divided by the total, and give the result. That is relative frequency. And leave it in decimal form. But what if I were asking for percent frequency? Not relative, but percent frequency. The difference between percent and relative is you would still show your work if, let's say we didn't even do relative, I'm just asking for a percent. 2 divided by 20, but this would be 10%. And if you got the percent up here in the heading, you don't even need to put it down here. You can just put 10. So now I would go, 3 divided by 20. Now, if I already did the work, I'm asking for both a relative and frequency, I don't expect you to show the work twice. I'm just doing it twice, so in case, let's say I was only asking for the percent. Don't forget to sign in. Only asking for the relative. Don't forget to sign in. Yo. Don't forget to sign in when you, all right. Okay. 3 divided by, that would be 15%, so I just put a 15. This would be 25, this would be 45, this would be 5. Notice there's no decimals. The percent frequency table is just turning in, and there could have been decimals, but it's just turning the relative frequency into percent frequencies by moving the decimal 2 places to the right. That's all I did. You multiply each one of these by 100, which moves the decimal 2 places to the right. If you weren't doing this, you'd have to show the work. That's the whole point of this class, you guys. You gotta show the work. When you get a problem on your quiz, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna say, okay, I recognize what kind of problem this is. Now you grab the formula you wanna use. You're taking the numbers, plugging in the formula, writing it all out. You're showing me some detailed work. You divided this, you added this, you subtracted this maybe, and then the result. Most of the points are in that setup. That's why I'm begging you to show your work, because most of the points are in that setup. Just giving me a right answer. If you did it all in your head, you're not even gonna get half the points. You gotta show me that you're using the right formula. So now let's look at this on here. There it is, frequency table. 2, 3, 5, 9, 1, total 20. Here is relative frequency. Let's see if we got it. 0.10, 0.15, 0.25, 0.45, 0.05. Here's our frequency, 10, 15, 25, 45, 5. Just move the decimal 2 places to the right. How do we feel? Can we, since you know there's gonna be something in your future where you gotta make a relative frequency or a percent frequency or maybe a frequency, can you do it? Yes. Okay, good. We got past that. Let's go now. to bar graph. You've all seen a bar graph before. You probably all have made one many years ago, probably in your life, if not recently, maybe even two, but your first one was probably years ago. And it looks like this. I have the frequencies on the left, I have the poor, below average, average on at the bottom, and they're bar graphs. Here's what you haven't seen. A bar graph is different from what's called a histogram, which we are going to learn about in this class, a histogram. But they almost look exactly alike. I want to point out though, with a histogram, see the spaces between each one of those bars? They would not exist with a histogram, and that's the main difference between them. I know that sounds crazy. The main difference is it doesn't have those spaces. So when we get to histogram, you're going to go, yeah, that looks just like a bar graph, but you'll see it won't have the spaces. That's the main difference. All right? So now, let's look at a pie chart. The hardest part about a pie chart is figuring out how much of the pie from the center you're making your lines. So you almost have to say, okay, this is a 360-degree pie. Some people even number it, 1 or 0 and 360, and we'll put the numbers there to figure out what percent to use. But if you can just eyeball, when you go here and you go, okay, the smallest one is excellent at 5%, so you're going to make that smallest sliver 5%, and you can see where it's the 5%. The second smallest one is the 10% for poor, so you can see it's the second smallest one. Below average, 15%, average 25%, and the biggest one is above average at 45%, and it is the biggest piece of the pie. I'm hoping you can just eyeball and make a pie graph if you need to. Is it on your quiz to make a pie chart? Probably not. But do you feel like you could make one if you had to?
Yes.
Okay, everyone? All right, good, we're past it. Look at this, we're gonna get done early today. What does that mean? We're going to Cedar Point? That's not what it means?
On you.
Heck yeah, if you're driving.
Deal.
What?
Deal.
Deal. Look, she's calling me out. All right, let's keep going. That's it. We're skipping these other ones. Where are we going now? We're going here. There we go. Okay. Here are your 3 assignments. The names of them are right there. It's just asking you to open them up and follow the directions, and it's giving you when it's due. And of course, hopefully you remember that down here, each week, when you look at the instructions, this is the key area that helps you say, what should I read, or what should I study to prepare for the quiz, or to prepare for the final exam? You go to the instructions. That's what the bottom part is, showing you the things you should focus on. So let's go back up. Let's look at these 3. Let's start with the written assignment so you know what's expected. The written assignment, hang on, let's make it bigger. Up, hit, up. Manually show your detailed work finding the mean, the median, and the mode for the following data. Use at least 4 digits to the right of the decimal when rounding. If you happen to calculate a number that has all these numbers to the right, this is probably the first time for a lot of you that someone's asking you to use 4 digits to the right. I know we all have the habit of maybe using 1 or 2 digits, but later in the semester, we're gonna get to numbers that start out with so many zeros right after the decimal that we gotta get to 4 digits just to be able to have numbers different from each other. So we need to get in the habit right now. If you happen to calculate some long number, go to at least 4 digits to the right of the decimal when you're rounding. Now, when we round, let's say we're doing 4 digits, and the 5th digit to the right is a 4, do we round up or down? Very good. If it's a 6, do we round up or down? Up. If it's a 5? Perfect. If it's a 4 or below, you're rounding down. If it's a 5 or above, you're rounding up. Now don't forget, you're looking at the 5th digit to the right of the decimal. So let me just throw one up here. 0.076321552. Round this to the 4th digit. 0.07. No, to the 4th digit. 63. There's the 4th digit. We went with a 3 because the 5th one was a 2. But had I made that a 6, this would be 0.0764, 4th digit to the right. Everybody got it? We okay with rounding? Rounding specific. Now we're about to learn how to take these and manually calculate the mean. By the way, another name for mean is average. That's all it means. Mean is the same as finding the average. How would you find the average of numbers? What would you do with them? Add them up and however many there are. Excuse me. How many are there? 1, 2. How many do you see?
14.
I see 14. So you're gonna be adding these up and divide by 14, showing the work. Show me what they add up to, put divide by 14, then give the result, and then put the word mean next to it. You just found the mean. Again, you could just write these answers out on paper. You don't even have to write the questions out. Just write the answers out on paper. You know, nothing fancy. This is what you're handing in on Tuesdays, that piece of paper with just the answers. I'm not expecting you to write out the whole question or anything. Before we get into how to do this, go ahead, answer your question.
When you say like, show detailed work, you want us to like add it up by hand?
No, well, you're gonna show me you're adding it. Like, I would just say, like, let's say I'm gonna add these numbers. I'd go, added equals 100. They add up to 100.
All right, cool.
There you go. But then I'm gonna show them I'm dividing by 5 to find the average, and then I get the result, and I'll write mean right here. So, and this is what I'm grading right there. Yeah, don't forget anybody else hasn't signed in or sign in.
Oh, I got the wrong number.
Oh, you crossed yourself off? You're in the wrong class? You're at 100s across the hall if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm looking for that class.
Okay, good luck. You got to see that card trick for nothing? Well, look at that, that doesn't seem fair. Man. I don't know. Then you're gonna do median, you're gonna do mode, but this is all about you showing you can do it manually using the formulas manually. Next. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. This is your Excel assignment. Your Excel assignment has 3 yellow boxes where I want to have 3 equations. Don't forget, you're not handing in this Excel spreadsheet. We're all using the same spreadsheet, so we all have the same answer. Now, I want to point this out. I want to make sure everybody hears me. Somebody in here is going to take that data and move it and make their own spreadsheet. Like they want to show that they know what they're doing. But you're going to end up giving me a different answer because you moved the data. Just use this spreadsheet that's posted on Canvas. And we'll all have the same answer then, where that data lies already. And look, that data doesn't stop there. It keeps going. So, all right? All you're using the yellow boxes for is to enter your equations so you can get the result. But you're handwriting the equations out on paper and then giving the result on paper because that's what you're handing in on Tuesday. You're not handing in the spreadsheet. You're just using the spreadsheet to get your answers. I don't expect you to write out any of these questions. I don't expect you to write out the data, nothing like that. I just need 3 equations with 3 results on paper. It's that easy. You guys, if you attack this homework right after today's lecture, you will probably find you can get it done in 15 minutes. And it's not due till Tuesday. What does that mean for the weekend? I don't know what that means. Cedar Point? Cedar Point? Is that what it means? Michigan game Saturday. Thank you. 12 noon. You got free tickets?
I got a bus.
What?
The whole bus.
A bus?
Yeah, go for free.
How do you get in the stadium with the bus?
I got an official visit.
I'm sorry?
I had an official visit. I get it for free.
What do you say? I have an official visitor pass on free? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what does that do for the rest of us on the bus?
Free with me.
Oh, we just walk behind you like we're on the same path? We all have to have tickets to get in, you know that, right? Yeah, oh my God, what's he thinking? People don't listen to him. We don't like BSers. Bus, we can all get in. Nice guy. Anybody got a free ticket though? Just saying.
Give me a blow up. I'll go down.
When I was your age, I never missed a game. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because I went to UVM when I was in college, and I went to every game. But the guy from my high school was the quarterback back then, so that's why. And then we would go hang out with him afterwards, so that was pretty cool. All right, mean, median, mode using Excel. You're going to give the equation, write these 3 equations down, and the results for each one. There's that part of the assignment. I mean, that'll take you just a few minutes, what you learn, what these 3 equations are, what you're about to do. Now, the last part of the assignment is a little different. All right, it's called the number line part of the assignment. And before I go over that, this is where I'm going to talk about it right here. And what this number line assignment is doing, it's preparing you for what's coming. We're going to be talking about what's called a bell curve a bunch this semester, a bell curve. Has anybody had statistics before? Anybody in high school a little bit? So you've seen the bell curve, because there's no way you could have gone without it. So you know what I'm talking about. But most people have never seen the bell curve, and And a lot of statistics class, they'll look at a bell curve and not really understand how it truly works and what it represents. So that's why we're gonna take baby steps. And the baby steps we're gonna take is figuring out what the heck these numbers are. There's 3 to the right of the middle and 3 to the left. And the center number is always the mean, the average. And you're figuring out what these 3 numbers are. In this class, we're gonna see all kinds of bell curves, and they're all exactly the same except they have different numbers. But those numbers are exactly spread up to the right and to the left at the same type of separation. And the theory behind the bell curve is the same for every one of them. It's just that they come up with different numbers. So I want you to understand where the heck these numbers come from on all these different bell curves so you can understand they're all really the same. I'm going to simplify it so you realize they're all the same. All right, so that's what that's about. So before we do that, we're going over here. Where are we? We did this, did this, did this. We're here. That's where we're at. The mean. Let's talk about it. Where is it? Right here, blah, blah, blah. The mean is the data sets, the average of all the data values. You know that already. Let's go with this example. Boom. All right. You decide you want to live on your own while you're going to college here. So before you came this week or last week, you went ahead and made some phone calls and you made 70 phone calls to find out how much rent would be in different apartments around Dearborn. All right, as close to campus as you can get. And here are the different monthly rents right there. Matter of fact, they're pretty cheap. Rent's gone up a lot lately. Anybody renting right now? Can you tell me how much they're paying a month? How much? $684. It would be the highest one on there. I don't think there's a $684 up there. That's how much rents have increased lately. How much?
Mine's $980.
$980 just for you?
Uh-huh.
Man, you must be rich. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. I lived on my own in college too, but my rent was never that much. I'm going back a long ways. Mine was $200 a month. I was renting a room in a house though. It's not like I had my own apartment or anything. I just had a room. I had a room at a house.
2,200 up there.
$2,200 a month?
Yeah. Big house.
Are you married with children? 2,200?
Huh?
2,200?
Yeah.
Just for you?
Yeah.
No, you're sharing it with somebody.
No.
Even if you were, 1,100 each is a lot.
No. I don't share with nobody.
Well, here are the 70 we got. As you can see, they're a lot cheaper. This is an old slide. They'd be higher now. But to find the mean, we would add these all up and divide by 70. So here it is. 34,356 divided by 70. The average cost that we could expect to pay for possible rent here in Dearborn, based on this sample, is $490.80. There's the average, or the mean. Can everybody find the mean of that manual equation? That with the 14 data on your homework. Can you find it? Can everybody calculate it?
Yeah.
You add it up and divide by what?
14.
That easy. That easy.
No.
Now let's use Excel. You ready? To use Excel, you use an equation like this. Equals AVERAGE parentheses the cell location where the data begins, a colon, cell location where the data ends, parentheses. Everybody see it up in this box right here where I'm pointing? There it is. So this data over here starts at B8, and if we scroll down, it would end at B25. There's the equation to find the mean. And so when you go to find the mean on that Excel homework, could you figure out what equation to use?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But don't forget to give the result. So you would be writing that equation out, and then the result would be 67.875. That would be the result then. That's how you'd write it out on paper to hand it in, okay?
Don't you just add the first cell, and the last cell, then you divide?
No. That will never get you to that answer. You have to add them all. You gotta use
Yeah, you
this.
add them all up, I'm saying, but like, all you gotta do is cut the first one and drag it to the
Oh, yeah. He's saying instead of typing it in. Let me show you what he means. Yeah, good call. This is a little shortcut. AVERAGE, parenthesis. Now instead of typing, he's saying instead of typing, what is it, B8, he's saying left click on B8, hold the left click down, drag your pointer all the way to all the data, and it will, oh, look at 2 pieces of data, or letters even. all the way, boom. And then hit enter, and look, you get the exact same answer. But yeah, that's a shortcut, so you don't have to type it out. Yes. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we got the mean. Can we do the Excel on the mean? I think you can. Let's do this. Next. Here you go. Go ahead.
So for the Excel part of the homework, all we have to do is just write that
E-
equation down on paper?
And the result.
And that's,
And the answer. See? So like I have the equation here and then the result. I know it's too easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe how many people will not do it this way, just so you know. I know we're repeating it 5 times right now.
how's that an equation?
Huh?
It's not an equation.
That's how you're gonna do it on a quiz also.
What is that? Like,
This is, I made this one up.
oh, it's not a real equation.
No, it's a real equation, but there's no spreadsheet it belongs to, I just made it up. If there were data from J12 to J39, this would work,
Oh.
right? So, here's the deal with the median, and this is how I remember it. Middle. That's basically what it means. You're trying to find the middle piece of data. But, there's a trick to it. You gotta say, does this data have an odd amount of piece of data or an even amount of data? How many pieces are there? So let's go to this example. This has 7 pieces of data. So this is how you do it if you have an odd amount. Number 1 step, and you gotta show this in your work, is you take the data, think about it manually. We have 14 pieces of data on the homework. You rewrite the data from smallest to largest. You gotta put it in order. That's key. And that's part of showing your work for median. Put the data in order from smallest to largest. Then just count it off and circle the center if it's an odd amount of data. But we have 14 pieces of data on the homework, not 7 or 13 or 15. If we had odd amount of data, you would just count it off and find the center. Notice, let me count this for you. 1, 2, 3 pieces of data to the left of the center. 1, 2, 3 pieces of data to the right. So the center is really obvious. The answer here, the median is 19. And the work we showed is putting the data in order and then just finding the medium, the middle, and circling it. But we have 14 pieces of data. So let's look at, if you have even amount of data, the center is a line or a space between 2 pieces of data. Because there's 8 pieces of data, we have 4 to the left of the center right here between these 2 numbers, 4 to the left and 4 to the right. Neither 19 or 26 are right in the middle. They share it. So to find the middle, we have to add those 2 numbers together and divide by 2 to find the mean of those 2 numbers. That's the median because we have an even piece of data. Now let me make sure everybody heard this. Your homework has 14 pieces of data. So you're going in 7 and 7, you're gonna be between 2 numbers. And you're gonna have to do the step you see right here where you take the 2 numbers, you add them together and divide by 2. That's the work I gotta see on your homework. Can everybody manually do the homework median for those 14 pieces of data, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now Excel. Whoop, that's the homework. Okay, Excel, here it is, equals MEDIAN, just like this example. But in this case, it's B8 through B25 again, because that's where the data's at. So it's equals MEDIAN, parentheses, the first place where the data is, dot, dot, the last spot where the data is. So it's the whole array of data there. And the answer is 60. So you would write out that equation, then you would put 60 and circle it as the result. Or somehow make it, highlight it, do something, and I know that's the result. Okay, can everybody do the Excel part of the homework for median now? It's almost too easy.
Yeah.
Man, why is stats this easy? How can that happen? Some of you were scared to take this class. Raise your hand if you were scared to take this class, be honest. Yeah, now what are you? Now you're skipping. Now you're going, what the hell am I doing here?
The counselors try to scare us.
No, don't skip.
The
Don't.
counselors.
The counselor what?
They try to scare you every time for this class.
I know, I heard about that.
So weird.
They heard, yeah, I heard the professor before me, like
Yeah, fool Wayne, he wasn't good.
33% didn't get a C or above.
He wasn't good.
It wasn't good for anyone. Like I said, though, last semester, don't be that look. Only 1 person didn't make it through, all right? So, don't be that 1 person. All you gotta do is show up. I'm gonna get you through it, right? All right. Okay, so now, where are we? Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let's go to our rents. In this case, there were 70 pieces of data. Look at what happened though. The rents got placed now from smallest to largest. They're in order now. We know there's 70 pieces of data, which is even. So we know that 35 have got to be one direction, 35 the other direction, and we got to find that middle between two pieces of data because it's even. So I'm counting 35. 10 is the first row. Second row is 10. Third row is 10. That's 30. Whoops, where's my pointer? 31, 32, 33, 34. There's 35. That line between those two numbers is the median. Now here's the weird part. Both numbers on either side are the same number. But still, please show your work. 475 plus 475 divided by 2 is 475. Show the work, just so you're showing me you know what you would do if they weren't the same number. All right, even though they're the same number, it's pretty obvious what the average would be. But pretend as if it wouldn't. So there it is now. You did it, saw it again using the rent data. Here's another one now. Mode. The word I always used to use when I was in stats to remember mode was most. M-O-S-T, that's how I remembered it. Because mode is what piece of data appears the most times. What is the mode of this data? Here's the key with mode though. Sometimes there's two pieces of data that show up the most times. Then you have what's called bimodal, meaning two modes. And there's data where more than two, 3 or 4 pieces of data show up the most times. They're tied. That's multimodal. A question you might have in your future might be, does this data have a mode, a bimodal, or multimodal? And you gotta know what that means. And you gotta look at it and say, is there only one mode? Is there 2 modes, or are there more than 2 modes? And then answer the question. All right, we're there? Let's look at this. If we had not done the median, and you were given raw data to do the mode, you must show that you put the data in order from smallest to largest, because that's the easiest way to find the mode manually. Then you start looking for data that repeats itself and count and see which one has the most. Like if I were going across the top row, 425, 430, I'd stop at 430 and go, oh look, there's 2 430s. So right now 430 is the mode until I find something that there's more than 2 of. 435, 435, 435, 435, 435. We just, 430 is out of the picture now. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 435. So the mode right now is 435 because there's 5 of them. Keep going, keep going. You would do this till you get to the end, but look at what's circled there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 450s, and there's no other piece of data there's 7 or more of. So 450 ends up being the mode. Showing the work, if this were raw data, showing me you put it in order, and maybe showing me you're counting some of these, and then putting 450 is the mode, and just circling it or something.
What if there's 3 pieces of data that are
Modes?
5 count?
Yeah, let's say there's 5 of them, you would say this is multimodal, and just say the modes are 450, 435, and you'd give all 3 modes then, and tell what each of them are. But you still showed me you put the data in order from smallest to largest to find the mode manually. And that's the same with the 14 piece data. Now look, you're doing the median and the mode on the homework, so if you put the data in order from smallest to largest, you don't have to do it for both of them. You just do it once, you can use it for median and mode, but I'm just saying on a quiz, you're not gonna be asked for both the median and mode. You may be asked for just the mode or just the median. You need to show me you put the data in order from smallest to largest as your work. That's what I want to get across. All right, so can we all find the mode manually? Pretty easy. Now let's use Excel. Equals M-O-D-E parentheses B8 dot dot B25 colon B25. So it's just like median and average, except you're using the word mode, but you set it up the same way. If this were a homework problem, you'd put equals M-O-D-E parentheses, the cell locations of where the homework data is at, and then you'd give the result off the spreadsheet. How do we feel? It's still too easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, don't fall asleep on me. So now we can do mean, median, mode on Excel. The whole Excel we can do now. I can't believe you don't have it done. Why weren't you doing it while I'm talking? That's what I can't figure out. Why isn't it even done right now? Why? Why? You're done?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Good job. Yes. All right. That's what you should be doing. Get it over with. Get it done. Where am I now? Let's see. What do we do? All right. This is not on your homework, but this is a big part. Hang on. Where is it? Percentiles. This is where I start to lose some people. This is possibly on your quiz, so I wanna make sure you get this. Percentiles. Hey, I wanna know what the 50th percentile is, or the 60th, or the 80th, or the 5th percentile. It's just what spot of the data are, if I said 5th percentile, I'd be saying where in this data are 95% of the data larger than and 5% of the data less than. Where is that spot in the data? So let me show you what I mean. Let's find one here. Oh, there's a trick to it too. Hang on. So, for example, okay, hang on, let me get to the trick. Ready? Here's the deal. To find the percentile, you take the percent times however many pieces of data you have. So that's why you see right here, we're looking for the 80th percentile, so we turn 80 into 80 divided by 100 means 0.8. And by the way, I got it right here because I want to talk about this. 0.8. Then we multiply it times however many pieces of data we have. We had 70 rents there. So multiply it times 70 equals 56. All right, now hang in there, hang in there. Here's what this says. It says if you do this calculation and it comes out to an integer is a number with no decimal or nothing to the right of the decimal. It's just a number, integer, with no decimal. Then that means you gotta find that position plus which position? Plus which position? Where's she at? Plus what position? Can't hear you. The next one. If this calculates out to an integer, you gotta go to that position plus the next position, find the two numbers in those positions. Now, this is where I'm losing people. I can already feel it. I can feel it already. Let's stop right there, all right? This calculation you're doing is finding the position, not the answer. The position where the answer is at, all right? Realize that. I have a lot of people that will stop at this calculation and get 56 and say, oh, 56 is your answer. No, that's the position where the answer's at, and because it calculated out to just 56, not 56.1 or 56.2, just 56, we gotta go to the 56th position and the 57th and take those two numbers and find the mean between them. I think, can we find the mean between them? Yes. Trying to remember. I haven't talked about this since January. So, here we go. We calculate this out, it's the 56, we've got 56.0, there's no number to the right. So that means we're not using the 56 or the 57, we gotta use both of them. So we counted off, the numbers are in order from smallest to largest, we find the 56th position. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, there's 56, 535. And the 57th position, there it is right next to it, 549. And now the 80th percentile is the mean of those two numbers. So we add 535 plus 549 divided by 2. The 80th percentile is 542. Let me repeat something. Some of you are going to stop at the calculation when you get 56 and say the 80th percentile is 56, which is not true. You just found the position of all the data, if it were in order, where the 80th percentile is, not the percentile itself. That's just a position. So now we go to the 56th, and we gotta go to the 57th, because we got an integer for an answer. We divide the two numbers, divide by 2. 80% of the numbers fall below 542, 20% of the numbers are above 542. That's what that 80 percentile means. Now, I have another example up here because I want you to see what happens when it's not an integer. 82 percentile. I want the 82 percentile. Times 70 is 57.4. What position should we go to?
The next one up.
The next one up, which is not 57, but 58. This, and you're going, wait a minute. 0.4, when do we round down? When it comes to percentiles, and you don't get an integer, you always round up to the next position. Everybody hear that? That's the tricky part about this. You're gonna forget this. You're gonna forget this. I'm telling you right now, this is the toughest part to remember. When the calculation of the position does not turn out to be an integer, you gotta round up to the next position. So now, if I were asking for the 82nd percentile, and there's 70 pieces of data there, we're going to the 58th position to find that 82 percentile. So when I said what position? 58. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 56, 57, there it is. 550 would be the 82nd percentile. There it is. So that means 82% of the numbers are at 550 and below, and what's the opposite of 82%? 18? 18% are above 550. Go.
Why didn't you do the divide by 2 thing?
Because you only have to do that if this calculates out to a position with no numbers to the right. Because that came out to 56, I had to use 2. I had to go to 56 and 57 and do that extra step. If I get a calculation that has point anything, you don't have to do that extra step. You just gotta make sure you round up. Let's do the 75th percentile. Here it is, 75th percentile. There's 70 pieces of data, calculates to 52.5. We go to what position?
53.
Go to 53. Because it's not an integer. If this came out to 52, we would have to use 52 and 53 and divide by 2. That extra step. But because this came out to 52.5, we go up to the 53rd position. So here we go. This is 56, 55, 54, 525. The 75th percentile is 525. That means 75% of the data is 525 or less. And the opposite of this, 25% of that data is above 525. Can you find the percentile? Oh, boy, I got a lot of looks like we got to test this. Hang on a minute. I want the 70th percentile. Tell me the position of the 70th percentile. Here I go. Come on, here we go. Tell me that position, 70th percentile. I'm staring at it. I already know because I am going with, I'm thinking it's something like this, maybe. Point what though? Nothing. There's nothing to the right. We're having an integer situation, so what am I going to do? Where do I look though? Where do I look? 49th position and what? You got it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, is that 50 or 49? 49, 49, and 50. I would take 500 plus 510, and we only have to do this extra step because it calculated out to 49 on the nose, and not 49 point something. If that were 49 point something, there's your answer, right? The 50th position. We have to add these two together and divide by 2. The answer is 505. 505 for the 70th percentile. And look at the work we got to show. We got to show that we take 500 plus 510, and we get 1010 divided by 2 equals 505. That's showing all our work as to how we got our answer. How do we feel now? I should have put all the pieces of the puzzle together for a percentile.
So come exams or homeworks or something, would the final answer be the position or would it be the percentile?
It would be the number in there. The final answer would be the 505 or the 525 or the 550, not these positions. You got to show those positions on your work though. How you got the position. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be people right now that are going to stop when they get to the position and not find the answer. Because it's just a natural, you're in a hurry, you're doing the quiz because it's time. That's the only thing that's going to hurt you on your quiz is this time. Because it's open book. It's open, this PowerPoint's available for you, you're going to have right in front of you. The answers to the homework are going to be posted that you can have open while you're taking the quiz. The only thing that's going to stress you out is the time. And so you got to be prepared to know where to look when you look at a question. Hey, here's a question about percentile. Have a little note that says exactly where to go to refresh your memory. What slide is going to go, oh yes, we got to find the position, then we got to find the, what slide is it? You have a note that says percentile, chapter 3 PowerPoint, slide 18 is what I'd have. And then as soon as I get a percentile question, I go, okay, boom, I go right to that slide, go, oh yeah, and then I would do it, and then I do it on the quiz. That's how I refresh my memory. I don't expect anybody to memorize any of this stuff. I mean, if we could all memorize all this stuff, we'd all be doctors and lawyers, because that's the main part of being a doctor and lawyer is memorizing all that junk. Medical terminology and medical physiology and all those terms. And so, I don't expect you to memorize anything. When you're in the real world, you got the internet. You don't have to memorize, you just gotta know what to look for and where to look for it. That's the key. God, when I graduated from college, the internet wasn't invented yet. Life is hell. Oh my God. All right, I still did okay. All right, you ready? We're going to quartiles. I think we got percentiles figured out, right? Unless someone else has, did you have one more question on percentiles? No? Okay. You ready? Quartiles. There are four quartiles. Well, I'm sorry. No, I guess there's only 3 quartiles. I don't remember. First quartile is the 25th percentile. The second quartile is the 50th percentile, which is also the median. And the third quartile is the 75th percentile. So let me give you an example. Which one are we doing here? The third quartile. You would do it just like you're doing a percentile. 0.75 times 70 pieces of data. Look at this. We did it already. Just a coincidence. 0.75 times 70 pieces of data gets you to 52.5. That's the position of the data. But because it's got a decimal to the right a digit to the right of the decimal, we round up to 53. We go to the 53rd position, and there it is, 525, which is what we wrote right here. So that is, not only is that the 75th percentile, that's the third quartile. Be prepared on the quiz, you're going to be asked, maybe one of the quartiles you're going to be asked for. The first quartile, what's the other one called? Second quartile or the third quartile? The fourth quartile is all the data, the 100th percentile. So the 25th percentile, we didn't do the 25th, but it's just like all of these. And the 50th percentile is also the median. So we got it, quartiles down. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay? Okay, so now it's the number line. Unless we have any questions. Everybody, go ahead, please.
Can we just go over percentiles really quick?
Yep. One more percentile. I want you to pick one. I'm going to get to the data. All right. Whoops. Again. I'm going to get to the. Just forget this 80th percentile. Pick one. You pick one at random. Name a percentile you want to do.
90.
90. Ready? We're going to do this. 0.90 times the number of pieces of data we have, which are 70 pieces of data. This is going to give us the position, which is going to be 63, I think, not point anything. Someone do this on the calculator for me. I just did it in my head, but 70 times 0.9, is it 63?
63.
Point, nothing?
63.
Just 63, okay. So here we go. This is an integer. Tell me what I should do.
580.
No, don't tell me the answer. Tell me what I should do next. Tell me logically what you're doing in your head. I got 63, what should I do? Go to the what?
Go to the 63rd.
No, because it's an integer. What is he not doing, you guys?
64.
You gotta also look at the 64th. So we gotta look at the 63rd and the 64th and look at those two numbers and divide by 2. Only because this was not 63.1, it wasn't 63.5. The only reason we're doing this is because we got exactly 63. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 63 is 580. And 64 is 590. We would add 580 plus 590 divided by 2, and we get 585 as the answer in that case. That help?
Okay.
That help? All right. Does that fill in the blanks for everyone else? Everybody? Okay. All right. Let's get to the number line. This is part of your homework. Okay. I'm going to start with the instructions so that we can go right here instead of jumping around. Open the picture named number line 1 and recreate the number line going from -3 to the far left to +3 in the far right. So I have that picture posted. I happen to have it right here. I thought I had it right here. What happened? How did it close? It closed. How did that happen? I don't know. Hang on, let me go find the picture. I had it open. There it is. Let me zoom it in. Okay, you're gonna take a piece of paper and you're gonna make a number line just like that. See how I did it right here? Mean +1, +2, +3, -1, -2, -3 with a line. Put the little arrows on the end. It's just a number line. Don't draw that thing up of it or anything. Just that number line, just like you see there. That's the first step. All right. So now it says now open the picture named number line 2. Notice how the calculation work is being shown as an example of show your work. Notice the numbers are being placed at 3 spots are going to the left and 3 spots going to the right. So what this story is telling you is it says the mean of some data is equal to 100. So there's the mean. So we would take that 100 and put it right there underneath the word mean for this assignment, if this were the problem. Then it says with a standard deviation of 6 units. That's the key information, the mean and the standard deviation. Because the standard deviation is 6, that means I gotta add the 6 to the 100 3 times, get 3 different numbers. I gotta subtract the 6 from the 100 3 times and get 3 different numbers. And I wanna show my work. 100 plus 6, this one's 106. 106 plus 6, this is 112. 112 plus 6, this is 118. Now I gotta do it the other way. 100 minus 6, this is 94. 94 minus 6 is 88. 88 minus 6 is 82. Look at that. Look at that. Where's picture number 2? Hang on. See how I did. You see that?
Good job.
There it is. That's how you do the number line assignment, but the deal is you have 2 of them to do, not just one. And all I'm looking for is for you to draw the line, show the means in the middle, put the +1, +2, +3, show your work, calculating the 3 numbers to the right of the mean and the 3 numbers to the left of the mean. And you're doing this twice. Let me show you. The first one is right here. It says question number 1. The mean of some data is 98 liters and the standard deviation is 10 liters. Show your calculations. Now you don't have to show your calculations on this assignment right here. You can do it right on the number line, just like I did it right here. And then you just gotta do a second one. So the first one you're using 98 and the standard deviation is 10. 98 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. 98 minus 10. Oh my God, it's done already. Oh, too easy. Oh, if you're dropping this class because this homework's hard, then you woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Homework today or no?
It's due today, yes.
Can I turn it in today?
No, I'm just kidding. Can you turn it in today? I guess, but that'd be crazy, but you can. Yeah. All right, second problem is on the next page, so scroll down. It says the mean is 18.6 and the standard deviation is 1.1. 18.6 plus 1.1 plus another 1.1 plus 18.6 minus 0.1.1 minus 1.1 3 times. Get it? That's it. That's your whole homework. Oh my God. Can you believe it? You guys, too easy. What else do I have? In-class assignment. Let's get going. You ready? Get a piece of paper out. Everybody hands in a separate one. You spend a few minutes working on it yourself.